All right, let's take a look at number 3 here. So number 3, it says which graph represents the function shown there. Show of hands. How many of you got this right the first time? You'll know. I gave you the grades. Just only got a couple in this class. You got it right the first time. Hey, I want you to try something. Go to the functions button on your calculator. Go to your functions. So over here, I'm going to delete what I have in. Go to your functions. Scroll down to the calculus section and find the logarithm. That's not the right log. I need a log with the base. Let me go back there again. Calculus, log with the base. It'll say log A. Click that one. Now this says, if you want to type in the f of x at the front, we can. F of x equals, there we go. All right, the base is supposed to be 1/2. Go over here and type in 1/2. What happens when you type in 1/2? It doesn't work. See how it messed you up that way? Okay, what was the second thing y'all tried when you took it the other day? So some people are saying 0.5. That probably wasn't the second thing you tried. Many people said, I'll do a parenthesis. Does the parenthesis work? No, I'm putting a parenthesis there, and look, see, it keeps moving that over. It's not working. So the only other way of doing this is 1/2. What is that as a decimal? 0.5. That's what I'm going to type in here, 0.5. And so when you type it in, which graph would be the correct graph? A, B, C, or D? Answer? B. B. Okay, so you will have 2 questions. That's asking you to graph or to name graphs. Something along those ideas of graphing or naming graphs. So your problem I just had you match a graph, but they could ask you vocabulary. So that's what your DOL is on this problem. DOL number 4. I want you, whoops, pressing the wrong button. Here it is. There are 6 graphs here. I want you to name them. I will write out the options. So the options are, one of these graphs is a quadratic graph. One of these is a quadratic function. One of them is a cubic function. Another is an absolute value. One of these graphs is a natural logarithm. For one of these is a square root function. And another is an exponential graph. Now, many of you might know 1 or 2 of the words, maybe 3 or 4 of the words. You might know all 6, but there is a way of doing this that if you don't know them, how to find it real easy with the calculator. It's this. Why they name these functions as they do, those 6 names, is it's telling you what mathematically is happening to the x. Or you could think of it another way, is where is the x located? So I'm going to use the word that I'm pretty confident everyone in here knows. But one of these, everyone in here, I think, knows by symbol. Which symbol do you know for a fact out of those 6? So I hear often, I hear people say absolute value, maybe cubic. The one that I think everyone in here knows is square root. So what do I mean by, the way to figure this out is to type in the calculator. What this means, if it's square root, that means the x is being square rooted. So the way you would type this in the calculator is you type in square root of x, and it would show you the correct picture. Does that make sense? So I want you to go through, try to think of the ones you know, process of elimination, pick off as many of the 6 as you can. What you're going to do is this, like cubic, for example. It means the x is being cubic. Okay, cubed would be the correct way of saying it. X is being cubed. The x is being natural log. The x is being absolute valued. So on and so forth. See how many you can pick off. All right. So hopefully, I know I just pulled the classroom here. The idea here is if you don't know what they look like as a graph, that's okay as long as you type them into Desmos. Each name is telling you what to do to the x. I'm going to start with absolute value. If you're going to type this into Desmos to check the graph. So for example, we already said square root of x. You would just type the square root, put an x, and now you know which picture to select. If you were going to do absolute value, what is the mathematical symbol for an absolute value that you type in the calculator? Two parallel lines. You put that around an x. That would show you the correct picture. I'm going to jump to logarithm, natural log. It honestly doesn't matter if you do a natural log or a normal log. How would you type that in the calculator? You could do log x, or if you want to be very specific, natural log is technically ln, but either way, you'll get the correct picture there. Okay, I'm going to jump to cubic. A lot of y'all said this earlier. What does it mean for x to be cubic? That doesn't make sense. X cubed. What does that mean? X cubed. X to the power of what number? 3. That'll give you that graph. Now we're down 50-50. Exponential is made up of what word here at the start?
Exponent.
Exponent. That means x is the exponent. So I'm going to do a little box, meaning that you have some value there raised to the power of x. As long as you put a positive number there, you'll get the correct picture. You can put any number you want. Technically, if they don't give you one, you just put the letter e for exponent. So it'd be e to the power of x. So why do we call it exponential? Because the x has become the exponent. So again, the names tell you what to do. All right, the trickiest one on there is the oldest one to you is quadratic.
X squared.
That is x squared. If you look up quadratic in Latin, quadratic means squared. It's unfortunate that it wasn't the English that first came up with that, because then they just call it the squared function, I'm sure. Instead, all those old Romans named it their Latin. So quadratic means squared there. That's, if you type those in, you should have all those graphs. Questions? Yes, ma'am. This one? Or here? Are you talking about here, or are you talking about the list of names? These two? This one starts at the origin.
No, she's talking about, so on the row to the left, the middle, and on the row to the right, the bottom.
These two? Now, this one comes up, it has an asymptote with the y-axis, and it comes up and to the right. This one also goes up to the right, but it follows the x-axis. So no, these are they are inverses of one another. They're not the same name. They're inverses of one another. All right.